All right, we're going to bring back our legal perspective. That is attorney Adanté Pointer. Thank you, Richard. Joining us now live from Sacramento, California. Mr. Pointer, thank you so much for joining us.
Thank you for having me.
Nice.
Now, I understand, we're trying to understand a little bit better of these charges. Demetrius Haley was the only one out of the 3 defendants who was found guilty on the 2 counts related to obstruction of justice. The first 2 counts, the jury found him not guilty, but then guilty on the lesser charges involving bodily injury. So what does that exactly mean?
Well, it means that the jury listened to the evidence and ultimately concluded that only one of the defendants actually used some degree of force that was unwarranted or excessive in the course of restraining and arresting, and ultimately resulted in Mr. Nichols' death. So what winds up happening is they didn't find that he used enough force that was to warrant the strongest or the most harshest charge. Instead, they found that he used a lesser included amount of force, meaning a less level of force than what prosecutors were aiming to have him convicted of. And of course, all the rest of the defendants were found guilty as it relates to obstruction charges. So essentially said, the jury that is said, you all agreed to try to impede the investigation or to cover up what happened, but only one of you was actually engaged in using excessive or unreasonable force.
Makes sense, thank you. When defendants are found guilty in a federal trial and then face a state trial on even more charges, as these former officers do, what is the likelihood, Mr. Pointer, that we even have a state trial now, or is there motivation to make some kind of plea deal?
Well, you know, the motivation to make a plea deal can arise on either side of the aisle, meaning the defendants or the prosecutors, based upon the strength of the case and what lessons they learned or take from the federal case. But keep in mind, the federal degree as it relates to the type of jury instructions, also as it relates to the jurors having to render or arrive at a unanimous verdict, makes the state court case much different. In state court, you don't necessarily have to have a unanimous verdict, and the jury instructions, which give the jury their charge as relates to the items of evidence and what they're supposed to consider, is different from a federal case versus a state case. So really the ball is in the prosecutor's court to determine if they still feel confident and comfortable proceeding with a criminal case in state court to where they believe that they can arrive at a conviction. If by chance they looked at what happened in this federal case and are discouraged that they can actually arrive at a conviction for these defendants, you can see the charges change, you can see some defendants dismissed, or the prosecutor may just abandon the prosecution altogether. So we'll all be waiting to see how the prosecution leans as it relates to what they think they can do and accomplish in state court.
All right, we will be watching it closely. Thank you so much, Adanté Pointer, joining us from Sacramento tonight. We appreciate your expertise. Pepper?
Thank you.